Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm finally getting around to filming the Eddie Munson book tag created by Becca from the comic book Sanctum. She tagged me like a month ago, so I'm really behind, but I'm going to do that today. Let's just get into it. I've got a book for everything. I've got 2 books for some things, but I'll get there when I get there. But this is what I think to the questions. This is a really fun tag, by the way, if you like Stranger Things like me. I'm a massive Eddie fan too. Yet to get the Hellfire Club t-shirt, but I will eventually. So the first question is, Chrissy, Wake Up, a book you were so obsessed with, your first thought of the day was about it. I have chosen, this one actually was harder than I thought, because I was going to go with Lord of the Rings, but no. I'm actually going to go with Iron Widow by Zirin J. Azal. This was one of my absolute favourites from this year. I think it's so fun as like a book. It's a sci-fi following a girl called Zetian, and basically her realizing how much of a badass she is and taking down the patriarchy. That is her whole deal. She is a concubine pilot, and basically concubine pilots are there to basically ensure that the male pilot lives, and Zetian is like, no, don't fancy that, don't want to do that, don't like that, don't love that for me. And then she's like, I'm just gonna go murder everyone. And there's also polyamory in this, so we love that too. So that's why this one is going to be my Chrissy Wake Up song, because also Chrissy Wake Up. The second prompt is D&D, recommend a fantasy book, and for this one I am going to choose Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I loved Legendborn so much. I loved Bree, I loved literally everything about this book. The only thing I'm not enjoying, the only thing is the love triangle. I'm not here for it. I'm hoping for polyamory, but you know, we will see. But this basically follows Bree, who is 16, and she gets into university, and there's secret societies, and there's magic, and there's black girl magic, and trials, and everything about this is so cool. It's a King Arthur retelling, and you know, on this channel we love an King Arthur retelling, and this one doesn't even annoy me with some lore changes. But I also really liked the idea of like root magic, and yeah, it talks about racism really well as well, and I cannot wait until the sequel Bloodmarked is out. I have just bought the Fairy Loot editions because look at them, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, how could I say no? Even though I love this one, and I got this hardback which has the embossing on the cover from my lovely friend Amena, so I will treasure this forever because I love this book. The next question is, this is going to be my year, a book you think is going to be your favourite of the year. So I've actually got one that I think I've read, and if anything knocks it off the leaderboard, I'll be very surprised, but it's a contender. Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. Now, I read this back in January, and nothing I've read so far has beat it, and I think actually it might become my favourite standalone ever. This follows Clara, who is a robot, or a robotic friend. She starts off basically watching the world, and the way these robots, they're solar powered robots, so the sun is very important to them, and it's very much like a slice of life but through a robot's eyes. And we follow her as she finds her person, her child that she's going to be friends with, and there's lots of other different things in this. And Kazuo Ishiguro is very well known for his speculative books, and I very much enjoyed this one. Again, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you, but this will take a fantastic book to knock it off its perch. I don't think perch was the word I'm looking for, but it's what I'm going for. So this one got 5 out of 5 stars. I want everyone to read this book because it's beautiful and poignant, and Ishiguro is a fantastic writer. This is currently my favourite of the year. However, I did think that as this is like, it's not the end of the year yet, and another book I think could be in with a shot of being my favourite of the year is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Myro. And the reason I think this one might be my favourite is because it's dark academia. It's kind of like, from what I understand, it's sort of like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, but set in Scotland, and it's set in like the 1800s, and that's literally all I know about it. But it's a chunk, and I love a chunk. It's fantasy, and I'm really excited to get this one. I'm going to be reading it in November, so next month. No, not next month, the month after. We're not October yet. I feel like I am, but we're not. But I'm really excited to get to this one. So let's see if it knocks Clara and the Sun from its pedestal. That's the word. I'm really excited about this one. Scottish, witches, strange children, dark academia vibes. perfection. Next up is Bats, which is a spooky read, and I'm wearing Bats today. And I didn't even question this one. There was a few that I could have picked, and you're going to be surprised because I didn't choose a Christina Henry, because we're a Christina Henry stan channel. But I'm picking Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. This gave me the creeps. This follows Sarah on a journey to find her sister Becca, and it's basically about this road that disappears, and it's only available for like 1 year, and it's got ghosts, it's got like sentient houses, it's got fucking everything, this book, and it gave me the heaps. Just gave me the heaps. It's so fucking creepy. I really enjoyed this. I saw this originally on Beth from Books Nest channel, and there were things in it that she was saying that drew me to it, and then I read it myself, and spooky. So this one, if you want a spooky read and you want something to creep you out, check this one out. Obviously content warnings, like for anything I recommend actually, but particularly this one, I'd probably say. Next is Master of Puppets, a book with a truly epic scene in it. Again, I thought ages and ages and ages for this one. I didn't want to recommend this book, but I'm going to. I have chosen Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and this is full of epic battle scenes, epic character moments that I absolutely adored, and Kaladin is his whole journey within this series, the Stormlight Archive series, is insane, like insane, and I enjoyed it so much. And I haven't read Oathbreaker yet, but that's where I'm at too, and yeah, truly, there are truly epic battle scenes in this. It's fabulous, like adult fantasy at its finest. So I didn't want to recommend a Brandon Sanderson, but here we are. So now we're at Dustin, a book where a character takes on a protective sibling role over another character. I have got 2 books here, and they're very different, but I couldn't choose between them. So first of all, I'm choosing Skullduggery Pleasant, although technically this will be the whole series. Not necessarily between Valkyrie and Skullduggery, but I feel like Tanith in particular takes a sisterly relationship with Valkyrie. So I love this series. It starts off middle grade, then ages up as it goes, but Skullduggery Pleasant is an absolutely fabulous series. If you haven't read it yet, you definitely should. It's a lot of fun, and I was on the Dead Famous read along that was run by Hannah from the Dead and had a load of wonderful people on there as well. But these are such quick reads. The audiobooks are fantastic. Derek Landy is one of the nicest human beings I've ever had the fortune to meet, and I really enjoy the story. It follows a young girl called Valkyrie as she basically finds out a lot of the magical creatures that she'd read about and the magical world and the spooky stories that her uncle wrote about is real. And she basically becomes this badass sorcerer and has her best friend Skullduggery, who is a skeleton detective. And I think that's all I really need to say because we love it. I'm also going to recommend Year of the Reaper by Micaiah Lucia. Again, I still can't say that name. But this is a fantasy, and it follows Lord Cass, and he has a literal brother who is technically older than him, but things happen in this book that I think does say that he's a protective sibling. And I really enjoyed this book, and I wanted an excuse to recommend it to people because I feel like it's one of those that people sleep on. It was a fairy book, and some of the fairy books have been real misses, but this one was a hit. I really enjoyed it. I liked the whole plot. I like that romance was in the plot, but not really. It kind of skirts around the edge, and I really appreciate that because I don't really ever want romance. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but not really. But I really enjoyed this one, and I just think it's a fun little fantasy. It's short, and it doesn't need to be anything else, and it knows what it's doing, it knows what it is, it's staying in its lane, and I appreciate it for that. So last but not least, it is Eddie, a book you think everyone should love, and we all love Eddie, so this is perfect. This is the perfect question. So it wouldn't be me if I didn't do this. I'm saying The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Hobbit is such a great introduction to Tolkien's world and Tolkien's lore and Middle-earth and all of that good stuff. It is written for children. Tolkien wrote it, he wrote it as if it was stories for his children, which he did. He used to read this to his children around the fireside, and each chapter is like its own little adventure because it is literally meant to be read to children at bedtime, for example. And I love Tolkien. I love The Hobbit, love Lord of the Rings, and if you don't know that by now, we just did a readathon, so you should, but I'm kidding. Obviously not everyone loves Tolkien as much as I do, or at all, but I love this book so much. It's so funny. It's full of so many jokes, and the characters are all really lovable. Bilbo Baggins is one of my favourite characters forever. He is fumbling through life the only how he could, and I love that for him. And I love the dwarves. I love the like friendships. I love the relationships. I love like Gandalf in this one. He's so funny, and Smaug is such a great character. We meet Gollum in this one. Like, it's such a great intro to these characters. So this is one that I think everyone should love because it's middle grade, man. Like, what do you want me to do? There we have it. That is my book tag. So I don't really know who likes Stranger Things, but if I could take a stab at it, I would say I'm gonna tag Bookish Gems and BookTube with Amy, I think, because they're doing a supernatural read along at the moment. So readathon at the moment. So why not? So if you're still watching at this point, thank you very much. If you want to leave a comment and let me know what you thought of these books, or if you're excited to get to any of them, or if you just want to let me know you're here, please just leave a dice emoji in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!